are a course which is about community arts, it's about participatory arts, socially engaged arts, because these students not only are artists but they're working out in the community in lots of different settings, using their art in order to promote well-being. Our students are very talkative and they'd love for you to chat with them about their pieces.
I'd like to thank the students from the first year and second year of our course that have helped us, and the businesses that have allowed us to have the exhibition, and all the community that have helped. We've had donations, we've had participants, we've had everything, and they've been so great. Most of all, we'd like to thank the lecturers for helping us over these 3 years, for your guidance and your support throughout.
On Track to Happiness, a journey. A train cartoon. I was inspired by an illustration in the New York Times called A Train Love Story by Will McFarlane.
The owner's grandfather came over from Italy, and he came over originally to mime, and then he met a few Italians and they saw the opportunity to have businesses here, cafes. He went to work for one of the Italian families until the 20s when he finally bought his own place, and since then it's been a family-run business.
Sabriel, and I made a film about my story and my journey, how I came to Wales.
Basically, he needs a bone marrow transplant and he had to have a Hickman line put in. So his parents didn't really know how to explain to him that that's what was going to happen to him, and how it would work, and the fact that they had to go to hospital in London and he had to leave his family, being in like isolation and stuff. So the beer was made as a tool to help him understand what was happening.
I'm Anamali, and this is my space. This is the alleyway I've changed. And it's made completely out of donated objects. I've been in Pontypridd once a week for 4 months asking for object donations from the community. And this is everything they've given me. And I've upcycled all the objects and made an experiential forest of objects. And on the side there's all the portraits of the people that have donated them as well. And there's the pigeons, which are the inhabitants of this alleyway, really. And the access resource, which is accompanying my piece. It's a soundscape, an abstract soundscape of what the alleyway is. So it's making it accessible for who is visually impaired, so they can hear and still have the same experience. And yeah.
We are all people, but society today categorises us into groups, the elite and the disabled. What stand independently is a human figure with a disability, which will melt away until it is unrecognisable and misunderstood. A disability, whether it be physical, emotional, cognitive or sensory, can leave people feeling alone, isolated and different. This piece is an education, a voice and a realisation that disability is secondary to the person, and that we should all be equal, as we all are, unique, despite our physical attributes.
So my name's Florrie Coates. I have 2 little businesses that I'm kind of setting up, which is Floco Creative and the Garden Jar Company. And for this exhibition I've kind of combined the 2, which is my love of food and gardening, which are 2 things that have kind of helped my own health and well-being, and made these little people to share with everyone, that everyone can interact with. Then it's kind of so people can come and do a workshop and be social and share.
Mental Health, a Voice, a collection of repurposed books and rebuilt literature, curated by Kelsey Daniel. These are the lost stories. Book 1. Reality began to blur like a watercolour in the rain.
Derived from a Greek word meaning body. This work has an access resource, which is at the bottom over here. The essence is that I focus on the human body to explore how our internal emotions can affect our bodies.
So I'm Kylie, and my artwork is about mental health and your ability of transparency and how sometimes people hide their emotions and it becomes very entrapped and you become very much a part of something, but you lose your identity, and how you become very attached to different strings and people. It's very much that you need to look deeper to understand a person. She's here, but she's not within the room. So the string that's in the room is detaching everything a part of where she is, but she's always constantly moving but never visually see who she is. All connects to then go back to the artwork, which is the body.
I've focused on flowers with meaning, so mental beauty, relief from anxiety, healing, friendship, return of happiness. Yeah, these are tactile pieces to interact with, making art accessible and inclusive to all. Yeah.
I'm an inclusive artist and I primarily specialise in flowers and their meanings and how they're used for medicinal purposes. I've got some hibiscus tea and some dried flowers which you add to your tea, lavender, essential oils. I've made myself, and each of them have different benefits and antioxidant properties.
The idea behind my piece was to engage with participation from the public. I put a call out and asked people to send me environments and places that they like to visit around Ponty and took photos, and they've all been displayed around. I've also done a small book which has all of the photos within the collection and audio descriptions of everything.
My memory in Wales or in the UK, you can see the country flag where I've visited before, and it also related to the world map, to the place where they've been before. Views, Wales, England, also other places in the world to show what kind of things I've seen in my life through the life in the UK. And I also asked the impression of Pontypridd. So you can see some comments from locals or from the people from other countries. Some access resource for the people who have some visual impairments so they can actually feel it.
I decided to do an art trail using birds to go along the whole of the art trail and encourage people to engage with everybody's art piece. I thought I'd position the birds by each piece. Participants can use binoculars to go on the trail.
My piece is called the Sensorium. These wind chimes is part of the sound element because when the wind blows you can hear the sounds of it clanging. My work, so I've collected all these utensils from charity shop. This one was donated because it had a big cut through it, but I thought I could see the potential that it had. These floppy disks also were going to get thrown away and they would have ended up in landfill. I upcycled the bench and painted on it as a mindfulness space. In the art community, I think it can be quite exclusive to people with visual impairments. So I've tried to have other elements that are more tactile, and fragrances, and it's more like a trail you can do within here. And then what it's good for as well. This one's supposed to be an impression of like a snail trail, basically. You can just follow the path with your hands. The swimming costumes were inspired by different aspects that I wanted to celebrate of Pontypridd. It's based on the Welsh language and famous poets and writers from Pontypridd, and the next one is based on the park and all the nature that surrounds Pontypridd, and then the next one is based on the Lido renovation, and the final one, which is the one that Emily's going to be wearing in her performances, is based on the famous swimmer Jenny James, who was the first woman to swim the channel. So she's going to be doing performance. You can come and join in with the performances.